Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Icon. We're so glad that you're here. I don't know why there's still music playing. We just thought we'd have some background music for all of you this morning. There.
There's going to be echo. Something's
Oh.
not muted.
Hold on.
All right.
Give us a minute.
There, it's muted.
Technical difficulties. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, it's all good.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, sorry about that.
Smoothly run shit over here at Icon
very
Church,
smoothly
the
run.
Matlock household.
It's a good thing Dan is over here though, because if it would have been just me when all of that happened, I would have been like, it is what it is, and you're just gonna get an echo this morning. So anyways, welcome. We're so glad all of you are here. Happy Christmas week to everyone. Christmas coming up very soon. Hopefully all of you are getting your shopping done and getting ready for just a great week to celebrate with the people that we love. So just a few things to go over with everyone before we jump into our worship and our message this morning. The first thing is, as usual, if you are new around here, we would love for you to fill out a Connect card for us. We just want to be able to have a way that we can stay in touch with you and that you can stay informed and up to date on everything that we have going on at Icon. And so if you just click on the Connect button and fill that out, that'll make it to where we are able to stay in touch with you. You can also download the Icon app so you can get notifications. That's really helpful as well. And also another really great way to stay connected to Icon is we have some virtual small groups that are going on. And so if you go over to our website and check those out, we would love to have you jump in and be a part of one of those. And the second thing is this. I know that right now for most of us, finances are just tight right now for a lot of us. And I just want to say to all of you who continue to give faithfully to Icon, your generosity is so appreciated. Thank you for doing that. This church, wouldn't exist without all of us coming together and doing our part and sharing our resources. So thank you so much. And on that note, one thing that we really miss being able to do without having in-person gatherings, we used to every week do what we called the reverse offering, where we would tell everyone there, if you had a need that you didn't know how you were going to meet, to go ahead and, as the buckets passed, to go ahead and take loose cash out to meet those needs. Well, clearly there's no buckets to be passed.
Pass me a bucket. I'll take cash out. Sorry.
We're just going to have commentary over here from Dan today. But there's no buckets that we can pass. So we still, though, want to be able to help for anyone that has some needs that they need met. So if you do have a need, maybe it's you need groceries, or maybe you're struggling with having enough money to buy gifts for your kids, or whatever it may be, just send us an email at info@iconchurch.com and just let us know what that need is. We can't promise to be able to fulfill every single need, but we don't know what you need if you don't tell us, because we're just not together and this is our only way to know. So just let us know, and we'd love to be able to help you out in any way that we can. We just want to make sure that you are all taken care of. And we believe that we all together have enough resources that there shouldn't be anybody that's left in need. And then lastly, if what you're needing most this morning is prayer, maybe you are going through some things, or you just really would love to have someone agree with you in prayer, you can go ahead and click on the prayer button, and it will take you to a separate window with one of our hosts where they can hear your prayer requests and where they can be able to lift you up in prayer. And we also can send those on to our prayer team as well, so they can continue to pray for you throughout the week. Okay, so two more things. First thing is, if you've been coming to Icon for a while, you probably know that we do this every year, but next week is the last Sunday of the year, so there will be no service next week. Every year we always take off the last Sunday of the year just to give everybody a break, to allow people time to spend just with their families. So if you log on next week, we won't be here, but we will be back the following week. So enjoy your Christmas, enjoy time with your family. And we will be back in the beginning of January. Okay, we're about to go into worship and the message, but one last thing is stick around afterwards, because we have a really awesome opportunity to partner with a local organization here to us in Kyle called Seedling. And we talked about it last week, but Seedling is a program where they provide mentors for children of incarcerated parents. And so right after service today at 10:30, we're going to be having a Zoom call with the leadership of Seedling just to gather more information. So stick around for that. And after the message, I will come back on and give a little bit more direction. And then we will go ahead and whoever is wanting to can jump on that Zoom call. So that is all. I know that was a lot of information throwing at you early in the morning. But we're going to go ahead and go into a time of worship with Arlene, and then Pastor Amanda Martinez is going to be bringing us the message today, our last message in our Advent series about love. So let's go ahead and enter into worship together, and then we will jump into the message.
Good morning, Icon. Happy Sunday. I hope everyone is having a spectacular morning. I just wanted to hop on and do a little introduction because it's gonna be Christmas and I'm super excited, and we know who the life of the party is. So excuse the recording for this week. I recorded one song and then I realized that I needed to put on my Christmas cheer, so I switched to a Christmas sweater. So, anyways, join me wherever you're at. I'm excited. I was buried beneath my shame, and who could carry that kind of weight? It was my tomb till I met you. I was breathing but not all my failures I tried to hide. It was my turn till I met you. You called my name and I ran out of that grave. Now your mercy has saved my soul, and now your freedom is all that I know. The old me knew Jesus when I met you. You called my name and I I needed rescue, my sin was heavy, the chains break at the weight of your glory. I needed shelter, I was an orphan, now you call me a citizen of heaven. When I was broken, you were my future. My eyes are open, and when you call my name, I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. You call my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. Yeah. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, a weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angels' voices. Oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, oh, night divine. Truly he taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains he shall break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, let all within us praise his holy name. Christ is the Lord. Oh, praise his name forever. His power and glory evermore proclaim. His power and glory evermore proclaim.
Good morning, everyone. You know, Christmas typically brings about an incredible burst of light and love with its traditions, sparkling lights, presents under the tree, and time spent with family. And maybe you're like me, and by January 2020, you had already bought multiple rolls of wrapping paper at the post-Christmas sales so that you'd be sure to have enough for all the gift exchanges and parties. And then things quickly took a turn in March, and as the months have passed on, the reality of our Christmas this year has shifted a lot. Typically, my family gets together at my late grandmother's house on Christmas morning to eat Mexican breakfast and open our brown paper bag stockings together and participate in our family gift exchange. But this year, things are shifting a little, and we're doing all our meals at home with our own families. We're doing sanitized Christmas gift porch drop-offs and a family Zoom. And sure, there's a lot of loss from not having those in-person family traditions, but there's also so much love thread through the choices that we're all making to keep our loved ones and coworkers safe and healthy during the pandemic. This next Friday isn't going to look or feel quite the way we expected. Sure, our pants will still be stretchy, but for other reasons, and we'll definitely wear our Christmas jammies anyway because COVID life, But while it's not going to be what we expected, it's vital that we don't miss out on the opportunity to find God's love in the middle of it all. Maybe we can use this time to quiet our minds and spirits from the hustle and bustle, to shut out the chaos and let the peace of Christ rule in our hearts. I actually mentioned to my dad the other day that maybe instead of even giving physical gifts, we could just write cards to each other with encouraging words and share what we love about each other, because we really just don't do that enough. And in this Advent time of expecting and waiting and preparation, what happens when the thing that you're expectantly waiting for doesn't look the way you thought it would? Let me know in the chat. How do you handle life when the thing that you're expectantly waiting for doesn't look the way you thought it would? You see, living through this pandemic and the birth of Christ actually have something in common. It wasn't what was expected. If Mary had been trying to plan a family around the book, What to Expect When You're Expecting, she'd have had to throw that book away after that special visit from the angel. Mary wasn't expecting God to call her to bear Jesus in her womb. She wasn't planning to be the mother of the King of Kings. She surely faced worry, sacrifice, and isolation from others as she rose to the call of God's love in this situation. But still, she said yes to embracing God's love. She was still willing to be a part of the bigger story that God was writing. And every day she said yes. And every day God uses this story of the birth of Christ to say, yes, I will find ways for my love to reach you in the most unexpected circumstances and seasons of life. Now, our Messiah came in the form that no one expected. Everyone was expecting a king in power, this huge overarching presence, and what they got was a baby in a manger. He was birthed in a way that no one expected. He was raised in a peasant's home and not the expected golden palace. God chose to partner with Mary to co-create the living God and be a significant influence in the formation of Jesus. Now that was very unexpected. But the great thing is, and the good news is, that he's still moving amid the unexpected even today. And now it's our turn. Now we get to be like Mary and embrace God's love and share it with the hurting world around us. So many of our brothers and sisters are feeling the stress, pain, hurt, and despair of this pandemic and just life in general. And God is birthing unexpected things in us to share his love with them. So I'd love to hear from you in the chat. In what ways can you share God's love in unexpected ways during unexpected seasons of life? One thing I've done quite recently is to become the guardian of my 2 teen nieces for a season of life. It isn't easy, and it wasn't what I was expecting to do at the beginning of this year, but I can already see God at work through it. God has used everyday, ordinary people in the most unexpected circumstances to help provide for us each step of the way. And I see his love shining through when they're singing in the shower, when they're dancing to Selena, or whenever we're talking together as we enjoy a nice home-cooked meal together. In these particular circumstances, when I put myself in the place of Mary in this Christmas story, being asked to mentor, parent, guide, and love unconditionally a child that may not be with you forever, a child that is not necessarily completely yours. I am so glad that I said yes, and I am so glad for this opportunity to love and parent and mentor these beautiful young ladies. And maybe that's not where you're at right now, but one thing that we can all consider participating in for the rest of this year and into the next is an organization called Seedling Mentors. Check out this quick video.
Seedling is a school-based mentoring program for children of the incarcerated. Being a mentor is so important because it can change lives. It can open doors for the mentee, and it can open windows for the mentor. My role at Seedling is mentor director, and therefore I nurture the match. I offer advice and counsel the mentors so that they can employ mentoring best practices. And hopefully these will become transformational for the children in the future.
The reason I love being a mentor is coming to school every week and seeing Breon's face light up when I say, "Hey Breon, you want to go grab lunch?" Usually by the time I finish that sentence, he's already running off to the counselor's office where we eat. So seeing his smile every week is really what inspires me to keep coming back.
When I started as a Seedling mentor, I really didn't know what to expect. It's been interesting to see our relationship develop. I've really enjoyed that my mentee looks forward to seeing me every week, and also to create and share memories with someone that I would not have met otherwise.
Being a mentor is so important because it provides a caring adult who's there just for that child. A child that doesn't necessarily know when or if their parent is coming home. To see that child smile when you come into the school and they greet you is extremely rewarding. That relationship is vital to the child's development and their hope for a bright future. Our goal at Seedling is to increase the number of children served to over 1,000 in the next 6 to 7 years, while also increasing quality services for the kids.
My role models are my mom, my dad, my aunt, and my grandma, and Ben. Having a mentor is exciting.
Seedling recruits volunteers from the community, then matches them with eligible children and offers ongoing support for both the children and the mentors. Seedling Mentors provide stable, long-term relationships for the students that can help them develop and maintain positive attitudes towards school. And because we value this next generation so much, we want to make this on-ramp very easy for you. Directly following this service, Seedling is going to host an interest Zoom meeting to provide you with even more practical information and answer questions. So if this sounds like something you might enjoy and you have just a little time to share God's love with children in our community, we'd love for you to jump onto the Zoom. Icon fam, as we continue to live through this season of the unexpected, let's all make a collective choice to embrace the love that God has for us and to share it with others in any way we can. If not through Seedling, then in your home or your workplace, reimagine the love of Christ this Christmas and watch how God works through the unexpected. Let's pray. Father God, I thank you for each and every person watching this stream today, God. And I ask that you would be with them in the unexpected. Father, as we're all facing different family dynamics, work dynamics, personal life dynamics, Father, there's one thing that we need in the middle of all of this is you. The one thing we need to embrace in the middle of all this is your love. The understanding that you have not forgotten us, the understanding that you have not given up on us, the understanding, God, that you are here to meet us and birth new things in us as we prepare for this new year. God, help us all to look to you and to embrace you in our everyday life and not let the things of this world overshadow the great story that you're writing in our lives, God. We love you so much and we give you all the glory for today and every day after. In your name we pray. Amen. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Well, thank you so much, Amanda, for that encouraging message. I am just going to take a second here and go into the chat. And just because on the different platforms, people can't see each other's comments. And so I just want to take a second and just read some of the responses to the questions that Amanda asked us, which are really, really great questions. The first one was about how do you handle disappointment when things don't go as expected. And Locke and Sabrina said that that's hard. Disappointment hits hard. Jenny and Mark, they said they look for God to fill up that black hole with himself. Kat says, I breathe, reassess, and try not to be too disappointed. Hindsight sometimes reveals that it was better the way it happened, or there was a silver lining. And that's so true. Sometimes when things don't go as planned, sometimes we can look back and see that maybe it was actually for the best that things didn't work out that way. I know for me, I struggle with disappointment, and sometimes I tend to have a more, I will say it's a realistic view. Dan says that it's pessimistic, but I think sometimes it's a defense mechanism because it's like, well, if I kind of expect the worst and then the best happens, then I'm just really excited rather than expecting the best and then being disappointed. That can be a lot harder for me to deal with. So I totally relate to that. And then the other question, what Catherine Sawyer said, she tries to remind herself that God's plan doesn't always line up with hers, no matter how badly she wants it to. And then the next question that Amanda asked was, how can we practice love during this season? How can we love others well? And I loved the responses that a lot of you gave because they're all really simple but really meaningful. Kat said by practicing kindness and being supportive, being willing to be vulnerable and empathetic. I think empathizing with one another is one of the greatest ways that we can love each other well. Locke and Sabrina said they drop off cookies to neighbors. I mean, it's such a simple gesture, but I think goes a long way sometimes. Blake said giving of time to call up a friend or family member and just let them know that you're thinking of them. Dan said many times it's the small things that matter most, checking in with loved ones, thoughtful messages, things of that nature. So yeah, just Amanda, I'm really grateful for you reminding us that sharing love doesn't always have to be these grand gestures or doesn't have to look a certain way, but that we can all be intentional about practicing showing love to one another, and that sometimes it is as simple as a phone call or a text message, that it can be in the small gestures, just reminding everyone that they're being thought of, that they're being loved, that even in a time, especially right now when we all feel incredibly disconnected from one another, just those simple ways of reminding each other that you are being thought of, you are loved, and that we are still connected, we still belong to each other, even if we're not physically with each other very much. So I know that I'm going to go into this week encouraged and looking for ways that I can practically show love to people around me. And one of those ways is what you've heard about now a couple different times, is with this organization called Seedling. And I'm really excited for us to have the opportunity to partner with them again. We have partnered with them in the past, and one of their directors, Dan, reached out to me and just said, hey, we have 12 kids who paperwork is filled out, they're ready to be matched, but they just don't have enough mentors. And he said, would Icon consider partnering with us again to see if we can't get some of these kids matched with a mentor? And it's really cool this year because they're doing it very differently, obviously, in COVID times. It's all virtual. So really, I feel like a lot easier for people to be able to mentor because you can do it from your own home. And they, in the Zoom call that we're going to go on in a little while here, they will explain all the information, but they have some really cool ways that they are doing this virtually, where they have it set up to where you can actually play games like virtually with your mentee. And it's just a really great opportunity for us to show love. It's a simple way. I believe it's just once a week for maybe 30 minutes that we can show love to a kid who really needs that, and be able to be just a support to them as they're walking through having one of their parents who is incarcerated, and they're just really unsure of what's going to happen and how long their parent is going to be away. And so it would just be a really great way for us as the church to be able to show love to some of these kids. So here in about 25 minutes at 10:30 is when the Zoom call starts. So this gives you a chance to take a little break. Maybe you need to grab some more coffee. Maybe you need to get a quick snack or something. But the Zoom link is in the chat for the Zoom meeting. And so at 10:30, whoever is interested, this isn't you joining the Zoom call, doesn't mean you're saying, yes, for sure, I'm going to do this. This is just simply for us to be able to get more information so that we can make a decision, make the best decision possible. So I would love to see a lot of you join on this call. I'm going to be there, and they will be there to answer any questions. And even for those of you that are out of town, that don't live in Texas, I would encourage you to still hop on if you're interested in this, because since it's virtual, this might be a great opportunity for you to be able to get involved too. Yeah, Locke and Sabrina said, yeah, we can find matches for a dozen kiddos. I believe so too. So yeah, hopefully I will see you all at 10:30 on that Zoom call. So go ahead, take a quick break, do whatever you need to do, and then we will see you back for that Zoom call. Otherwise, we will see you not next week. We'll see you the first week of January, and I hope that all of you have an incredible Christmas and a really happy New Year.
Kid service.
The kids service, yes. Yes. This is why Dan is here. We are still having our e-kid service. It'll just be pushed back for after that Zoom meeting. I believe Amanda has it set at 10:45 right now, but just kind of be watching, but that will happen after the Zoom call. So am I forgetting anything else?
You're good.
And Dan doesn't have any... He didn't have any music to send us off into 2021. You guys, we get to say goodbye to 2020. That's a really big deal. Not that everything is going to magically change once the new year comes, but I am so ready to say goodbye to 2020, and I'm sure many of you are too. So yeah, Nope, he's got nothing. Sorry, man, you're such a disappointment today with, nothing. Nope. All right, well.
I can't read. Kelly stole my mouse.
All right.
See you guys later.
We'll see you later.